Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Everyday Dukan and Healthy Eating. So today we're going to make another recipe, of course, and I'm going to show you a recipe that was inspired out of Dr. Dukan's cookbook. So if you have the blue book, it's actually a really nice book, and I'm making a recipe out of there. It's called a tuna savory bread, but I call it a tuna loaf because it reminds me of a meatloaf. So that's what we're going to be making today. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. We'll be back in a minute and then we'll show you how to make it. Okay guys, so the ingredients you need for this recipe, in the book it's 2 teaspoons of yeast. I'm just using a full packet of yeast. It's 7 grams of dried yeast. In the book it's 1 tablespoon of corn flour, but I'm using 2 tablespoons. And then the drained weight on the can of tuna is 150 grams. So in the book it says 5 ounces, and that gives you 140. So it's a slightly bigger tin that I'm using today. And then you're using 3 eggs and a half a cup of milk that's lukewarm. Just warm it up ever so slightly for the yeast. So that is basically your basic ingredients. Now I've tweaked the recipe a little bit and I'm adding a few extras today. So I'm adding a very small onion finely chopped, and I'm adding a teaspoon of capers and a tablespoon of fresh dill. So you can leave these out if you want to, but I like adding them to the recipe. So we can start making it now. Let's see. First of all, I'm going to put the yeast in a small bowl. Let's put that in there. And then your milk should not be too hot. Here we go. Just pour that on the yeast. A little stir. And we're just going to put that aside. I've also preheated the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. So that's ready for us. Now I'm just going to open the tuna. Drain that. So you'll see it's quite a tight packed tin of tuna, which is great. There we go. And then a nice big mixing bowl. And you just put the tuna in there. Now if the tuna is very large chunks, you can just squash it with a fork a little bit, flake it up so it is nice loose flakes. Sometimes the tuna comes out of the tin like that. Occasionally you buy tuna steaks. You could also use tinned salmon if you prefer. The recipe will be lovely as well. Here we go. And that's our tuna ready. And I'm just going to crack the eggs here in a bowl. Nice fresh eggs from our chickens in the back garden. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to whisk the eggs up a little bit. There we go. It doesn't need to be well beaten. You just want to break up the egg white. There we go. And that's all done. So now it's really simple. I'm going to add the corn flour now to the tuna. And just tip that in. go. It just kind of dries the tuna slightly. And now we're going to just add our yeast. Make sure there's no large lumps in there. See. Can make sure it's well mixed. There we go. And now I'm adding my little bits and pieces, my onion. There we go. The capers you can add whole, or you can chop them up a little bit if you want. I'm just putting them in whole. And then your dill. And at this point you can just season the mixture a bit. Salt and pepper, any spices you like. I'm going to just leave it plain for now. There we go. Take a nice big spoon and we're just going to mix this lot together. Still a nice big lump there. So it's really quick and easy, this recipe. There we go. Let me get the tray. So I've got a silicone mold here, loaf tin if you wish. And we're just spooning the mixture in there. Oopsie daisy. And all I'm doing is I'm just leveling it out a bit. Make sure it goes in the corners. Level it on top. And that's ready to go in the oven. So we'll put that in the oven then. So the oven has been preheated, 200 degrees. There we go, in the middle of the oven. There we are. And I'll put our timer on for a half an hour, so we'll come back to you once it's ready and I'll show you how to plate it up. Okay guys, it's been half an hour now, so let's have a look what it looks like. Aha, okay. You'll see it's quite brown on top and it started to come loose from the sides. And when you touch it on top, it's bouncy, it's firm. So you can check it with a pin if you want, but it's like checking a meatloaf, so it just needs to be firm. So I'm going to leave it now to cool off, and we'll leave it there for about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and then we'll slice it up. Okay guys, so we are back now. The tuna loaf has cooled down a little bit. It's still a little bit warm, but it's lovely like that. It's nice to eat it warm. So we will slice that up. I'll show you here what it looks like. So you'll see it didn't rise an awful lot. It's basically just risen a little bit. But if you were expecting a beautiful big tuna bread, it doesn't look like that. So I'm going to slice it in quite thick slices. About 1 inch thick or something, but you can of course slice it in thinner slices if you like. And this way you can at least get 8 thick slices out of it, and I serve 2 big slices per portion, so I just feel it works for me, but you can do it differently. And then what I've got over here is a nice bed of fresh lettuce, so we're just going to put our loaf on the bed of lettuce. Here we go. You can see the stem is still coming out of it. Oopsie. Here we go. You can see the inside of the loaf. It's lovely and moist. You can see the little bits of onion in there. You can see the dill. There we go. And then I've got little extra bits and pieces here. You can serve it with anything you like. If you want to serve it plain on a protein day, you just leave it without any lettuce. And then if it's a veggie day, we can put some bits of avocado in there. And I've got some lovely tomato here as well. Little bits of lemon. There we go. It's actually really nice if you've got a couple of people over for lunch. I've boiled some eggs here as well, so a couple of boiled eggs also works really well. And then it's a full lunch or dinner if you want. Put a couple of tomatoes in here. There we go. So that was really quick and easy. I'll put some parsley on here just to finish that off. And I'm going to just put a little bit of black pepper, especially on the tomatoes and the boiled eggs and avocado. There we go. Little bit of salt. And then if you wanted to serve it with a little bit of a sauce or a dip, over here I've got some homemade Lutenitsa, which is that smoked pepper spread that the Bulgarians like so much, and I love it. So you can serve it with something like that, or you could have a bit of cottage cheese, or you could even make a little dip with some cream cheese and some pickles. That all goes very well. But the loaf itself is not dry, so I'm sure you will like that. And that is all. That is all for today, guys. I hope you enjoy the recipe, and I hope you're going to be making some of it at home. Please remember to give us a like, and if you like the recipe, share them with your friends, and please subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful day and good luck for the rest of the week. See you soon.